Alright, what we had today is the F-15A Eagle from the Testors Corporation. 148 scale. Chock full of parts here. Clear sprue with the landing light, the heads-up display glass, front canopy, rear canopy. Still don't know why people call this a kit of monstrosity, though. Though you can, depends on if you get any sort of aftermarket parts for this bit. You can replace the heads-up display glass. Alright. We got the through here with the parts for the actuating levers for the engine. There's quite a few aftermarket parts that you could use to replace this. For this sprue you got the AIM 7 Sparrows, AIM 9 Sidewinders, centerline fuel tank, which all these fuel tanks are the same anyways, but these are all the same fuel tanks that you would find even on the center line and on the wing pylons when they're running 3 tanks. You got FOD covers, which I don't think many other companies actually produce. By the way, this kit is the Italiari F-15 kit. So this is the limited edition kit. This means that well, you got some extra markings. Okay, we got fuselage sprue. Actually, I think this way of actually doing it is pretty unique. But it actually has a lot more detail on this than the Monogram or the Tamiya kits of the same scale. You got engraved panel lines. This is actually a pretty detailed main gear bay. You got your radome, your I still think this is a better ejection seat. Cockpit tub, radar bulkhead. If you're going to use this, you would use this or this, depending on what you do. But only use this one if you want to pose it open. And then you got your front fuselage halves, and you can cover that up with a separate panel. But it has a really detailed boarding ladder. I've actually seen those in person. My dad showed me how they worked when he was a aircraft mechanic with the first fighter wing. There we got upper fuselage. Goodness, pretty decent panel lines on this. It actually gets the shape of the in-flight refueling receptacle correct. You got the area here for the main fans for the Pratt & Whitney F-100 engines, intake ramps, speed brake, aircraft intake halves. But what I like about this kit is that you can. This has a pretty decent opening for the M61 Vulcan cannon, and that is not as well detailed in the Tamiya kit or the Fujimi 148 scale kits. But they got that in the 148 Monogram F-15 kit. And right here, where my finger is the barrels for the M61. And that's what's visible when you see the cannon bay. So it's a very distinctive part of the plane. You also on here had the fairings for the top of the vertical stabilizers. Nose gear, main gear, control stick. And that too is actually a pretty accurate depiction. I've seen those in person when I was a kid. As I said, my father was a aircraft mechanic with the 1st Fighter Wing in the 94th and 71st Fighter Squadrons. Alright, now last through, top parts of the wings, bottom parts of the wings, vertical stabilizers, the wing pylons, and then the A9 Sidewinder pylons. And I'm running across there and I feel the rivets, but I definitely a lot of really good recessed panel lines on this. And lumps and bumps in the right spots. So some parts have fallen in the box, but here's the main decal sprue. Got your stenciling for the aircraft, the decals for the instrument panels and the side consoles, and your those go on the horizontal stabilizers. In-flight refueling decal. That's been missing on quite a few kits, which is actually a very nice detail to have. And then you got the main markings for the aircraft. I mean, this does have the markings for the Georgia Air National Guard here on this part. But you got aircraft from Eglin, Elmsdorf, and Langley, as well as Pittsburgh. But airframe number 83017 is a aircraft I know quite well. I mean, this says the 1st Fighter Wing Commander's aircraft, but I knew this plane when it was with the 71st Fighter Squadron. The green star here says Mirage F1, and this aircraft was used by Stephen Tate when he shot down a Mirage F-1 opening day of the Gulf War in 1991. Now, he was a squadron mate of my father's at the time. And I've met Steve a few times at the squadron functions when I was a kid. But I believe this, I don't know when they moved that plane from the 71st to the 1st Fighter Wing Wing Commander's aircraft. It might have been after we left in 93. But this does have the correct Air Combat Command symbols on there. Because Air Combat Command came into being in 1992. So my father was on the ground floor of that. And then you got the Certificate of Authenticity. I got 194 out of 2,500. Don't know what you get for number 1. And actually, at the bottom of this is a marking and painting sheet for, I'll pull that out eventually. Markings for 4 aircraft, but it also has on here what the interior section of the vertical stabilizers and what the painting scheme on those are. And not all, not all your camouflage schemes are all the same. But on these two, the vertical stabilizer camo pattern is actually the same, and it changes with the other two, where it's actually, where the, because in the center here you got the light ghost gray, and then the dark area is dark ghost gray. Which is, and then you got your top side camo patterns. Yeah, I definitely want to build this one. But I also want to see what aftermarket photo etch I can use for the interior. See what that does? I did order the Edward set for the Hasegawa kit because I want to see what that, or how that sits here. On the instrument panel. I'm sure it'll do well on the side wall or side panels on the cockpit tub. Yeah, that'd be fun to try. At least it helps that I have some first-hand knowledge of the F-15, being around them since I was a kid. Alright guys, don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this video. I'm signing out.